Welcome, FNusa57 here, back on my Xbox Series X to bring you yet another guide. In this video, I will be showing you how to get the Hurmerus Weapon achievement on Back 4 Blood. So, apologies that this is coming out a little bit late. It has been a hell of the past 3 months. Most of you know what's going on, with my father being, well, sick and injured and in and out of the hospital. So, anyways, apologies for the late guide. For this achievement, it is a rare achievement worth 15 gamer score, and all you need to do is kill 10 ridden with Bob's arm. Still, surprisingly, for the ease of the achievement, it has a very low unlock rate with less than 2.5%. All you need to do, however, is basically get to the proper mission on any difficulty. Now, if you don't have a group of friends, or you just don't trust randoms, then prior to the December update, you were pretty much SOL. However, with the December update, you can actually do a very interesting thing from the main menu of Back 4 Blood now. Simply sign in and then select Play Offline. By doing so, you can now access the offline campaign mode, yet all of your online decks, your supply points, your unlocks, your weapons, weapon skins, everything of that nature will in fact transfer over. So, if you have not completed the game yet, you can do this achievement on any difficulty. It's probably best if you're just going for the achievement to play on Recruit difficulty, which also gives you access to any of the checkpoints. What you are going to need to do is play through the game until you get to Act 2, and unlock eventually the checkpoint handyman, which is Act 2, Mission 2. You can of course play the first mission if you feel like it. It is entirely personal preference. Once you go ahead and select Act 2, Mission 2, the handyman, pun very much intended there, go ahead and create a run. Like I said, this can be done in a regular game, or it can be done by yourself offline after the December update, because thankfully the December update has made it so that you can actually earn achievements and progress while playing offline. For the purposes of this achievement and video, I will be running a melee character with a melee build. You can use whatever you want, though. It's honestly not really specific. But since this weapon will be a melee weapon, it will gain the benefits of any melee cards that you decide to use. If you want to use a burn card, you can. You do have to progress through the mission a little ways. Hopefully you'll get relatively easy corruption cards, but if you don't, well, it is what it is. Since we will not be continuing the run, we don't need any copper cards. All we really need to do is just go with all of our melee damage, or as much melee damage as we can get, and healing cards. So the 2 temporary health and healing 2 health is really, really good. Spiky Bits is also a really good one. And then if you wanted to use a burn card, there is not a burn card for melee, but if you have it unlocked, you could throw on a Slippery When Wet or Reduced Trauma. It's really personal preference, but it's not necessary for the achievement. All you need to do is play through the mission for a little bit, pretty much just like normal. If there is something in the shop, especially a melee weapon, I would recommend that you get it. But if there is no melee weapon, then pretty much go with... if you have a decent team upgrade, you can grab that. I personally like pain pills, and really the last thing is up to you. Since we're running a melee build, we don't have to really worry about it as much. You can pick up a different weapon if you want to do so. Personal preference at the end of the day. All you're going to need to do is progress through the majority of the mission. So this video will be a little bit longer. More often than not, you are going to have the horde timer. So basically, that's one thing that makes this mission more difficult, because you have to do it while you have hordes that will randomly come in. And if you're quick, you can run through this pretty quick, which is what we're doing. Obviously, you do have to watch out for sleepers, but of course the sleepers won't call in a horde on Recruit difficulty. So being that we're on recruit difficulty, this is pretty damn easy. But you are going to be forced to destroy some nests. I will leave the entire gameplay in just so that you can see exactly how this is done. If you're playing on veteran or nightmare difficulty, obviously this will be more difficult. There will be more enemies and more sleepers. But what you're going to do is go ahead and destroy these nodes. When you destroy the nodes, enemies will be called in. And then you will need to destroy the nest. So, just like that, as I said, there are sleepers even on low difficulty, but they don't call in the horde, which is nice. There's going to be multiple spots, and I'm just going to get caught by every sleeper. You have to be careful. The bots, well, the bots aren't very good at getting the sleepers off of you.
Oh, look.
But yeah, so there's going to be multiple little tendrils that are not always in the same spot, but they'll be coming off of this main unit here, and the higher the difficulty, usually speaking, the more of them. But what you're going to do is just go ahead and destroy those. If you need ammo, great. If you can't find the tendril, then simply go to the main node and look for where the glowing tendril is. Once you've killed all the tendrils and this orange part pops up that says destroy the nest, then you're good to move on to the next one. So normally you would destroy that first, but pro tip for you, this works on any difficulty. If anything, it comes in even more handy and helps out more when you are playing on the higher difficulties, because you are going to need the piece that we use for this particular achievement. So what you want to do is you want to move pretty quickly. I like to cycle around the map to the right, keeping in mind that you will run into more sleepers depending on the difficulty that you're on and depending on your team, just the corruption cards and everything. You will probably be in this building right around the time that you need to do a horde. This building up top here is a great place to sit, and if you are a melee character, camping right about here is a really perfect spot because you can get all of the avenues of approach. Again, you should have about 2 to 3, 4 on higher difficulties of these little nests to go ahead and destroy, these little nodes. They're usually, more often than not, in the exact same spots, but it just depends on the difficulty, where you pretty much have 3 or 4, and then once you destroy it, you will be able to go ahead and destroy the main nest. Now, for the purposes of this, especially with the horde, we want to go ahead and destroy the main nest, which has a surprisingly high amount of health, and you will notice that there is a piece of Bob in the bottom of the nest. Unfortunately, it is not the piece that you are looking for. It does not matter what order you open the door, or not door, but you open those nests in, because as far as location goes, the pieces are not in the same spot, it's order. If you have a toolkit, this door right here is a fantastic place to defend from the horde, but obviously on this difficulty, we don't really have to worry about it too much. The biggest threat are the sleepers. So now we need to go to the other nest. There's 3 nests in total. The second nest, spoiler alert, will not have the piece that we are looking for, but that's alright, because we have made it, by not opening the first nest, that the first nest, which is the nest closest to the door, will in fact have the piece that we need.
A large pack of Britain heading to the station. Our perimeter has been compromised. We need those weapons. Remember,
You'll probably have to deal with like 2 hordes on lower difficulty, probably 3 of the random hordes on the higher difficulty. But yeah, this is actually really easy. You do have to watch out for the cop cars, of course. Pro tip on the cop cars, if there's something in the cop car, mark it. Like, mark the cop car, and then wait until the mark on the car says that you are 29 meters away, in which case you can shoot the windows, break the windows, and get the items out of the cop car without setting off the alarm. It's a pretty cool thing.
Something left in here.
More going on here than meets the eye. My name is an HR officer.
Now, obviously, you'll have more cards, and you'll probably have better than white weapons if you've played through the first mission. So if you're doing this as you're actually playing through the missions, it will be more than likely easier than doing it just loading up the mission like we are right here.
What is that?
So once you have it available, go ahead and destroy the nest.
Hand here, Bob.
You'll notice that, again, it is the wrong piece for Bob. It's usually his foot, which is not going to help us in any way, shape, or form. So now we're going to go back to the very first nest that we didn't actually destroy. We only destroyed the nodes on it. The bots are pretty much, well, they're still bad. Go ahead and break the nest, and you will notice that there is Bob's arm. You can pick up Bob's arm, and it acts as a melee weapon. It does not actually replace your current weapon, but it becomes a melee weapon that you can use. Pretty much just like the baseball bat. So now for the achievement, you need to go ahead and find some zombies, which is pretty easy because you can trigger a alarm or just wait for the horde to come in.
Armory is your primary objective. We need those weapons.
And all you need to do is just make sure that you, in fact, get the kill with Bob's arm. As I mentioned earlier, it does count as a melee weapon. Since it counts as a melee weapon, it does, in fact, apply the melee modifiers. If you have any melee modifying cards, whether it be increased damage or healing off a melee or whatever, it does have that. Of course, be careful. The thing that makes this mission annoying is when you start at this point to get the hordes, then you have to deal with, like, tall boys. And there's your achievement, a Hurmerus Weapon, for getting 10 kills. It doesn't matter what ridden you kill with it, with Bob's arm. Now all you have to do to end the mission is simply take Bob's arm to the scanner. If you have use speed, it does help because you need to scan the hand, and then you are free to go through the safe room. You don't have to bring the arm with you into the safe room to complete the mission anymore, but you can if you want. Word of warning, only the person that actually has Bob's arm and uses it to get the kills will unlock the achievement. You will not unlock the achievement for the entire group. But that's how you go ahead and do it. It's super easy, super quick. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Leave a comment in the comment section and I'll do my best to help you out. Otherwise, by all means, help me out. Smash that like button and preferably the subscribe button as well if you haven't done so. Until next time, my fellow cleaners, stay frosty.